Welcome to Dice Junkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And we have Michelle over at the editor station.
Hey guys.
Check out that editor cam.
I think it's broken. I'm pretty sure.
No, we fixed it before the show. So hi.
That wasn't the demo I was talking about. No, I'm kidding.
All right. What the? Oh.
Well, it's not. Oh, hey, I mean, I'm willing.
All right.
Stop.
So,
Stop.
Yeah, stop that.
Stop. It's not that kind of show.
Yep. All right. So,
$5
I guess we'll start off with our game topics. We have GTA 6 development seemingly confirmed by Rockstar's latest tax return. I mean, I'm not really surprised. I wouldn't think you have to dive into their taxes to guess that there's a GTA 6 on the way.
There's going to be a GTA 20. We're going to be old men and be like, GTA 18 just came out.
Yeah. So
you get extra money when you set the hookers on fire.
I guess people are interested in things confirming that, but I mean, I just have I've always had this idea that game developers like money. Now some of them have shocked me with some of the things going on in the game development atmosphere, but in general, you got to make games to make money.
I think Rockstar is in the camp of we like money. Now, some of the people that have decided to work with Epic don't seem to like money.
Oh, okay.
Or at least, let me correct that. They don't like gamers' money. So they'll literally get up there and play stupid songs and leave porn on flash drives in, like, medieval times and other stuff that just goes, we don't want your money. Borderlands 3, dude. That what the fuck is wrong with that guy? Anyway, look it up.
All right. I missed something on the whole Borderlands 3 story.
The
Apparently,
CEO of Borderlands, the guy that the Randy Pitchford, I think. He had thinks he's a magician, left the porn on the drive at the medieval times, got up on stage and sang a song about crybaby fans.
I'm sorry, my mind just keeps going back to.
Got on all fours for Epic to suck them off hard.
Oh no, I know, I remember
like praising their strategy.
I remember all about that part. That part's very memorable.
You don't remember the crazy left the porn
the thumb
on
drive
the
porn thing? I don't. Yeah,
he said it was because the young lady on there does this magic trick, and she's a magician. She does this magic trick with ping pong balls in her vagina. And he wanted to figure out how the trick. I'm not joking. This is what he said. He was trying to figure out the magic trick she was doing, and that's why there was porn. By the way, on a flash drive that had company business on it.
Oh man, that's great. He
also hates Jim Sterling, and Dogs Wild Out, which is hilarious because he's the CEO of this huge company, and even basically when Jim Sterling has to go, I'm shocked this guy is obsessed with me because he's more important. You know, petty little sucker. I like talking about him. Mainly because he's a creep. I mean, my God, man.
So, yeah, GTA 6. Hopefully they do better with GTA 6 than they did 5.
GTA 6. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of 5, so.
You just dislike 5 because people.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about the multiplayer side of 5. I'm talking about the actual story and mechanics of 5.
It did seem to lack some of the charm that the previous games did. I don't know why. Maybe having 3 characters actually took away from each character.
I think it did.
Because getting into Nico Bellic and getting into my boy CJ, really, I got into it.
Mm-hmm.
I got into it. And hopping around with 3 different
the problem is with having 3 different characters and their personalities being so varying, you end up liking one of them and then hating every time you have to play
switch
the others.
Well, we all know that's true. The problem with that is most games that force you to swap between characters run into that problem of, but I only like this guy.
Yeah.
That Children of Mora game I tried to get you to play has that problem of it forces you to switch characters every so often.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest complaints I saw, including me, was I like playing the martial artist.
Teddy Sprinkles in the chat room seems to be a fan of 5. So, I mean, you can be wrong. It's okay.
I mean, don't look at me. I didn't play 5.
Xeno is quite often.
Oh, hey now. Don't get me started on camera.
Hey, Michelle, you better watch out or you'll get coal in your stocking.
Aww.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Gaming wise, well, let's talk about the Rune 2 a little bit.
I like the way you wait until she clicks something and say something different.
Yeah,
he literally
he does
goes
that
like
all the time.
This was
like,
Blood
not
Axe.
talk about this.
Blood Axe sent us this one.
That's
really,
Mr. Blood Axe.
Mr.
Sir.
Blood Axe. Oh yeah, in the chat room he is Mr. Blood Axe, right? So Blood Axe sent me this one. Rune 2 publisher is suing Human Head Studios for withholding game assets. Basically, this Rune 2 was created by Human Head Studios, and then Human Head Studios like closed the next day. Just
and
bailed.
they basically tried to do a diamond dash, like, yo, we put the game out, grab all the shit, let's go.
Yeah. But apparently, I do think there was an update saying that Ragnarok LLC, which is the publisher, regained the assets or something.
By the way, they ran to Roundhouse Studios under Bethesda, so technically, this is a Bethesda story.
Yeah,
and,
technically.
So that's the funny thing is they tried to jack everything, and it's really as funny the idea that you like. Could you imagine if Rune 2 comes out and you go by the studio next day and go like, "Hey guys, so what are we gonna do about the
guys?
Where'd everything go,
guys?
Holy crap! They took the wall covers, they took the sockets, they took the switch sockets." You just like they ran and took everything. That is just a hilarious thing that like they basically pulled a jacking. Like that used to be the old con trick where like there was a fake business and the next day you show up, the office is empty. But this happened in modern day time with a game studio. That is just hilarious.
Well, I mean, we've seen some odd stuff like this happen before, where people have just completed stuff and bailed.
Yeah, what was that back in the day that somebody like made a game and then just shut down? And everybody was like, hey, this game's pretty cool. I can't wait till they finish it because, like, they were expecting updates and stuff and DLC. And that's happened before. I just can't remember what it was. But I remember that the game came out and then the studio just, like, immediately went like, well, we're done. But at least they announced it. These guys apparently, like, cheesed it to where even the company, where the publisher was like, hey, where's the root?
I mean, I know there was, like, an anime company or something that did, like, an anime movie that they had licensed. And they sold it to the publisher, and then the next day, like, the anime studio was just gone.
Like I said, they cheesed it, man. Human Head Studios cheesed it. They're like, yo, get out.
And that makes you wonder about the game, too. Like, is there something about that game where they did not want to be around to hear about?
It's like that thing where you know you did a bad job when you slide under the door and you get the hell out of Dodge. Yeah. Like, yo, here we go. Let me get out of here before he opens it.
But I don't know. Now I want to go check this Rune game out just so I can see if it's.
Well, they're still kind of screwed in that they literally have none of the original team to continue this. So even if they have the assets, dude, it takes a new team a while to get the aesthetic and the concept of a game down. I mean, it's basically they're gonna have to bring in all new people to try to make DLC for this game.
Yeah,
like that's messed up. The only thing they can hope is that Bethesda fires all around Roundhouse Studios and then they get them back. Because, it is Bethesda. They've been screwing up.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't have to refund digital pre-orders according to European court. Honestly, I'm very surprised about this. As European courts have been very... have pushed a lot of these return policies and stuff.
Well, do you know how the Nintendo's pulling it off, though?
No, I didn't actually read that far.
Well, see, Nintendo is very intelligent. What Nintendo does when you pre-order a game that they're doing to basically make it look like this is legit is that when you pre-order a game, they actually give you a digital copy of the game. It's not active. It doesn't get the activity key or code until the game releases.
Okay.
But they give you the game. So the excuse they're using is you bought the game and you downloaded it. So that's why we're not refunding it. You have the product already. Though, and the defense, and I want to let you know we got this story because this is a follow-up. Yang Ye is where I saw the story originally. And Yang Ye, who went over the facts, is that, yeah, but it's not active. That's like you giving me a car, but I don't have the key to it. And then claiming you gave me I can't gain the car back even though I never drove it off the lot because you didn't give me the fucking key.
So it would be like Steam if I pre-ordered a game on Steam and they can't start counting my return policy on the day I pre-ordered it.
That's what they're doing. Basically, they're saying you bought this game and we gave it to you. So that's why you can't refund it. You have the game. And you know, a lot of products with digital products, they do have the opinion that once you download it, the purchase is final. So Nintendo's figured that out by going, we give them a digital copy of the game and it doesn't work. And thus you downloaded it, transaction complete.
Well, now, I think the EU law actually doesn't allow the download to be the point of, I think it has to be so many hours played after download or so many days after download. So, I mean, in theory, you should be able to download it and then return it if it's that same day. If I recall the laws right over there.
Apparently, they're getting, like I said,
that may be Australia that had set it up that way.
Yeah.
Because I know the reason
Norwegian Consumer Council is the one I
Steam,
think that has that rule. Yeah. If I'm reading this article correctly, Norwegian goes, no, that isn't the time of, you know, where you can say it can't be canceled. No. So now it looks like the European law and the Norwegian laws are in conflict on when you can pull this refund. I mean,
I think the reason why we have our current Steam refund policy is, I think, because of Australia's courts.
I mean, my general sentiment is right,
it was one of these other.
Well,
courts.
Here's the way the law should be, and tell me if you disagree. It should be upon a complete supplying of a product. Shouldn't be, I can give you 80% of a product and the sale is final.
No.
Even though I haven't even given you the final part.
I like the play hours thing. If you've played it more than 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever they've determined, you know, because, I mean, if I play a game for a few hours and it just sucks, I should be able to return it.
I'm of a sentiment that to agree that's reasonable. If nothing else, the one thing that is good is that the law does state that the game's broken. They have to get your money back. Like, they may have their policy going to refunds, but that doesn't overrule that you can't sell something that doesn't work. And I agree, play hours.
When they say work, so like how exactly?
I mean, that's usually determined. They go in. I mean, if it's like the game crashes and doesn't function to a degree that's considered to be a functioning product, same way as if you buy a car and it breaks down every 5 miles, you're not going to have a hard time in court getting your money back.
Yeah.
But to me, this digital download without the activity key is not a complete transaction.
Mm-hmm.
It's 80 or 90% of a product without the last part being provided. And to me, that means that it's not a completion.
A lot of people wish they could have got their money back on Battlefront 2, Teddy.
Yeah, and Borderlands 3, even though I think they finally got some of that stuff patched.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do a random encounter, and then we'll get back to the game topics. All righty. This camera is
18 is your target number.
18 is never my target number.
You can go for 17.
How about 9?
You are the new consultant to Epic Games. What's your first recommendation? This is the first one to only get one.
Oh, make a better launcher. I mean, honestly, the Epic Games definitely needs to look into a better launcher, a better. Get some more development hours on that launcher. Get it up to par with, before you start taking shots at Steam and these other. Make sure you have features that are equivalent or better than them,
so that it doesn't feel like you're forcing people to suffer. By being exclusive, you're actually forcing them to take a worse experience.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, my problem with Epic is not the exclusivity. I mean, it is to an extent. I'm not a big fan of exclusivity and forcing me to a different platform. But I'd be less opposed to it if the platform had improvements or if the platform was not a lesser platform.
At least a comparable product?
Yes.
I mean, I am a huge person about that. You know that there are a lot of games I still haven't played because they're exclusive to Sony. And I've decided, if that's the way you feel, I guess that I won't play your game. Mm-hmm. I'm adamant. I've suffered as a gamer badly because I haven't got to play stuff.
What advice would you give Epic?
Let's sell the company to Steam.
Wow.
No, really, because here's what would happen. They sell the company to Steam. Steam would get most of Epic's assets, and by selling the majority of the company to Steam, you would greatly reduce Tencent and China's control over Epic. Because, sorry, dude, that still bugs me that Tencent has such a huge chunk of Epic stock. I do not trust them completely as a company because they are owned majorly. They have a huge amount of their stock, like, that is to an outsourced country that is not friendly to my gaming preferences. I wasn't going to make it a political thing. My gaming preferences. Like, the stuff, the way they want games made and the things they want to change them don't fit with what I like. So, thus, I can't trust Epic because I don't have a say-so to them. Epic is basically outright said, fuck you, as far as what my opinions are. They're catering to big companies and their investors. That's all they care about. So, but if Steam bought them and they became a subsidiary, Steam would be able to look and go, I don't care how much Epic stock you have. We'll shut the whole damn thing down because we own Epic. I believe that it would make the company more trustworthy and it would swing the control away from these external forces that I don't feel comfortable with. That's going to be blunt. I don't like that. I really don't.
Yeah.
So where at first it sounded hostile, overall I think it'd be a good move.
You go in and tell them to sell to somebody else, so that just seems weird.
Yeah, that's how you lose your job.
How about you, Miss Michelle? Do you have any say on that?
I guess probably value quality over quantity the most. Like, make a quality product.
But Fortnite. It's based on quantity and a trash fire and stealing everyone's ideas.
All right, so they do steal a lot of ideas.
They stole giant robots. They stole everyone's dances. Now they've got, like, I think, is it Battlefront's vehicles? Like, they're just jacking, man. They're just stealing every idea.
But, I mean, they've also been sued left and right over all their stolen products.
Yeah, but they keep winning. Their whole concept is we're just going to become the biggest.
It still costs them money.
Thief. Well, yeah.
Dying Light 2 delayed indefinitely.
And that was such a fun game.
We are initially aiming for a spring 2020 release with Dying Light 2, but unfortunately we need more development time to fulfill our vision. My priority is to deliver. So basically they just said, we're not giving it another release date. But they are still working on it. It's not like it's canceled.
Dying Light still maintains being possibly one of my favorite zombie games because it combines something I was talking about with a friend, which is agency with horror.
Well, and the question here is, I mean, is it one of those issues where, we talked about this with several other gaming companies the other day when Cyberpunk got pushed back. You have that developer crunch, and a lot of people have been lashing out about how the crunch cycles go in game development.
But that's why it's good they didn't post a new release date. They actually have created a scenario where they're not in this do or die crunch to meet a date. And honestly, I prefer they do this and they don't pull a Borderlands 3. I'm not trying to be a bully, but put out not just Borderlands 3, Vault 76, even Fallout 4 and Skyrim before it, put out a game that's glitchy and buggy. I'd rather they take their time, we've said this before, and put out the game in a ready-to-play state that's good to go. So I'm fine with this because if they're doing it so that they don't put out a trash fire game, I'd rather they do it. By not putting a date on it, that means they don't do oppressive crunch.
Yeah, I mean, this way, they said, look, we'll give you more information in the coming months. So this gives them time to sort of reevaluate, get their developers on an actual schedule, and see where they're actually more likely to end up finishing development and possibly avoiding that crunch.
Yeah, take your time, do the right game, man, because I'm not going to lie. So many games I haven't played, not because they weren't good, but because they weren't good when they came out, and by the time they fixed it, I wasn't interested anymore. Yeah. I mean, games aren't a mandatory part of my life like they used to be, so I'm not going to spend money on something that's meh. Not $60, because some of the best games I've played lately I've gotten for $20 or $30. Honestly, I've become very hostile to the $60 game price tag because, free games, $20 games, $30 games, better.
We've both jumped back into, you've jumped in for the first time. I've jumped back in to Path of Exile, which is free. So
yeah. And I mean, if you wait, the game's price drops. So, you need to have a reason for you to buy your game full price now. Like some of the games I haven't played, I'm just waiting too for them to get cheaper. I'm like, I check. I got a wish list on Steam.
Yeah.
I'll go look. Nope, you still $50. Go look, still $40. Nah, I'll give you 30. And I'll wait for that price tag to drop.
Yeah, you got the New Year's sale going on right now. So
I'll go take a look and see if anything's dropped in my range. Like I have a literal list of games that I'm watching for them to drop in their price range.
Yeah. I actually went on there and removed a bunch of stuff from my wish list the other day. I was just like, I never got around to this, and honestly, I wasn't interested enough to actually buy it. Like I was like, this could be interesting, so I threw it on my wish list. But then I went back and go, it's just not interesting enough for me to pay for it.
If Game Pass doesn't kick out something I'm interested in, I may end up dropping it for a minute until something else comes along.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you there.
Because, I'm actually playing Steam games again because it's not their fault. I played through most of what was interesting, but nothing new's popped up that's been worth the time to even download. Like Metro Exodus is on there, but I got so disgusted with their epic behavior, I won't even play their damn game now as part of my Game Pass. I'm a petty mofo, man. I'll get to the point where I wouldn't play your game for free. I really will. Like, I won't play Metro Exodus because I'm just like, fuck them. I don't even want them to get attention from me.
Yeah.
I don't even want them to get residuals. Like, screw you.
So,
crash and burn. Oh, well, damn, too soon. Shit.
Oh,
damn.
Ow.
Gotta watch that damn joke these days. Today.
So Joe Biden, since we don't normally talk a lot about politics, but I think the last time we really brought up anything presidential or candidacy was back when Trump tried to blame gun violence on video games a while back, and we said that was a big mistake, and you don't need to do that. And here we now have Joe Biden calling game developers little creeps who make titles that teach you how to kill. He was referring to
Why the fuck are y'all fighting these people, Democrats? What the hell? This is why I've become a middle guy. I used to be a Democrat. I'll say it back in the day, but like,
well, let's not get too much into that.
But wow, dude, what the hell? This is a nominee? God dang. Crap, man.
And this happened back in the Obama administration. This was a meeting they had, and some game developers. So there was multiple leaders from Silicon Valley that showed up, and Biden was telling this story about this, where he then mentions that this game developer came up to him and he called them a little creep, and he's like, yeah, these little creeps that teach you how to kill, referencing game developers. So, too much of the U.S. population play video games.
You want to sound like
stuff.
an old out of touch man?
Yeah.
Do that. And I'm not even saying his opinions are wrong or right. I'm saying that if you're trying to run for president and you try to beat the other guy, maybe don't alienate a huge chunk of the population. What the hell?
Well, I mean, especially now where your younger generation is starting to get more and more involved in politics, and that's the large majority of those play games, and you just
That's I'm done. That's why I don't support nobody now. I'm my own party of Dicejunkies.
Like
that's my new party, Dicejunkies. Because screw it. Everybody's crazy.
Attacking gamers and game developers is just a bad idea.
Well, here's the thing. Who are you trying to impress? Because you know who agrees with you? Not your party. That's the other guys. You're not pitching for the right team, man. You're literally saying a statement that's going to appeal to people who aren't going to vote for you.
Both sides have had this argument before,
but
it's
most
not
recently.
Most recently it was right with Trump and gun.
You're not going to
blaming gun violence on video games instead.
Yeah, and you're not going to win anybody over from that camp. I'm not going to get super political. I'm just stating at a strategic level. You're not going to win anybody over from that camp.
But it's not either. It's not really a left or a right thing. It's an older regime type thing. It's mostly your old regime that has that idea. of video games being a problem.
And you're I'm gonna call the up and coming rich and powerful Silicon Valley a bunch of creeps and weirdos. Oh, good idea. You lost them. Good luck, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're the only thing you're winning points for is a dying generation, you know. And I mean,
don't vote for you.
Nothing wrong. I'm not saying anything wrong about older people. It's just, look, I mean, it's fact. You know, you have less years.
I mean, look at us. We're not young, and we're part of the gamer generation. So you're aiming really, I don't know, man. It just seems like a bad move. And I'd say it because I care. I feel bad for them because I'm like, well, there you go. Yeah. Plus, who takes on, Silicon Valley? That's who you want to piss off? What the fuck? Lost all those robot votes.
Yeah. Now, that is where you're attacking a lot of your constituents. I mean, as left, Silicon Valley tends to lean more left than right. So, yeah.
Am I going to have to run? Really? Because I don't know shit. But I know that.
I mean,
I know this. I know not to get up there and be like, hey, you know what? Vegetarians are bitches. No, you don't do that. Even if you think that.
That's why I was surprised when Warren had attacked Google and Amazon and all that. I'm just like, you realize
that's a lot of powerful money you effing with, man. And your long-term plans are. It's like, I don't want to just fail. God dang it, I almost said it again. I almost said go down and
like, roll on the random encounters table and
let's got that on the mind.
Let's refresh this.
Are we gonna say anything about it? Or are we just gonna act like we don't know? Like this ain't our subject?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna ignore that. R.I.P. Gotcha. Booyah! Now I can talk about it. So, my crazy conspiracy. No.
Choose reckless speculation. Upcoming film, video gamer.
Oh,
RPG,
he was smart. He forced me into a subject.
And direction.
But I want to talk politics. All right. I can't talk about the subject you would let me do about the crazy. They want to remove gender choices.
Oh yeah, you can have at that. I'm gonna go fill my coffee cup.
A recent Forbes article had an article that pushed an interesting idea about Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, where they're actually suggesting that you no longer should be allowed to choose male characters. And this just really kicked off a large rant that I did before the show because they didn't want me. They didn't want me to rant about it on the show about the concept of what is inclusivity? Like, what really is that? Because where does it become okay for you to go, I believe only one gender should be available in the game, and it's okay when that's clearly sexist and not inclusive? And the literal excuse for the reason behind it is that you wanted to take men out of their comfort zone. If you reverse that concept, that sounds creepy. Fuck you. It sounds creepy, though. If I told you I want to take women out of comfort zone and make them do things they're going to be uncomfortable with, I'd be like, trigger.
That sounds so
Yeah,
horrible.
It sounds terrible, doesn't it? It sounds super freaking creepy. But when you flip the script to the whole, oh God, you want me to talk about that? She brought up the other one. But if you flip the script, it's clearly a creepy concept to go, I want to make a particular gender uncomfortable. Why would that ever be an okay statement? And I believe that we need to make a new test. And I'll end it here. Take any opinion you're about to put out and change the gender or race or pronouns and see if it sounds really creepy. If it does, reevaluate. Is that too much? I think that was reasonable. I think that's reasonable. If you can flip the gender pronouns and it becomes something that sounds like it's time to call the police.
Yeah, if something you say becomes offensive to you when you change
then you're being offensive. That's not unreasonable. I'm trying to keep it nice and clean. Mm-hmm. That's a reasonable statement. So, please, try to actually accomplish your goal of inclusivity. For example, like our editors pulled up a picture where it's all female characters. You can show it. Like, that's a cool picture. But you do realize that that's not a diverse picture or inclusive because that picture has one gender representation. That's not inclusive. That's exclusive. So that would not be a picture that should be called woke. Because if it was woke, it would have a range of ages, a range of genders. There are a range of colors. But oddly enough, I think all the colored people in that picture, except for Storm, is technically a white person that's got a weird
Asian
skin color
as well.
Okay, you want to talk about Psylocke? Or is that not Psylocke? Okay, that's someone other than Psylocke, and there's Jubilee. Okay, I'm about to go off about Psylocke, because that's a white girl in an Asian's body. You need to read your comics.
Well, what about the girl on the red? Isn't she like Asian or something too?
I think that's Elektra? I don't know if Elektra is or not. I can't remember. I'm not sure about Elektra. But that picture, while it's racially diverse, is not gender diverse. So it's technically not a super diverse picture. And I'm just bringing this up because I think we're at our best when we do have diversity. Actual diversity.
That's yes and no. I don't think that. I think people are looking at the wrong diversity a lot of times. They're looking at diversity of women, men, and all that. You want to make an interesting game. The diversity of ideas matters to me more than anything else, because you have different viewpoints.
Oh, God, they know they're not
normally,
down
if
with
you
that.
go with diversity of ideas, you're gonna get a diverse crowd anyway.
Normally, yeah.
But not necessarily. And that's why I look at that more so than. But this is way too political, and I'm
I'll save my crazy Marvel theory for if we roll another 17, because I'm not done. I got another one, but I'm just gonna end it on whether you agree with me or not. I just say, take your statements especially if you're going to put this out as a media, and look at this statement works backwards to forward. If it only works one way, then you're not presenting a balanced or unbiased view. Now, if your goal is to do a biased view, you know what? I believe everybody has a right to their opinion. But if that's the case, be aware. Don't think you're not biased when you are. At least be aware.
Basically, the counter argument tends to be, and I believe the counter argument wrong, but it's like if you're going against the majority or the normality, I guess, then it's not as big of an issue as when you're going against the. I don't know.
But the problem is you're just swinging to another extreme. It doesn't
make sense saying it.
Well, yeah, because you're just swinging to another extreme.
Yeah.
And the problem with swinging to another extreme, because here's the problem when you go, for example, the problem with this is that when you don't have any diversity, you are excluding people. You're taking people and excluding them.
That image also has the 10 of Marvel's strongest female characters. I mean, there's nothing wrong with.
Well, no, that image itself. I'm just talking about a general picture where people go.
Yeah.
That's part of that other theory that I'm not going to go into. I'll be on all day of going for a full female swap is interesting, but it's not inclusive because now you don't have any men.
So let's talk about Black Panther 2.
I thought we weren't going here. All right. Black Panther 2. Chadwick Boseman is supposedly upset. That is the actor that plays T'Challa, the Prince of Wakanda, or King. King of Wakanda. Because apparently Black Panther 2 will be his last appearance because they're wanting to replace him with his sister.
I'm assuming this is all rumor,
Who's
right?
already a badass character.
Who's already a badass character and doesn't need to be the Black Panther or to replace anybody. But basically, they're trying to replace a character with a black woman. At least this time it's actually appropriate for it to be a black woman, at least in that sense. So it isn't a weird out where they just go, no, this person's black and a woman. But the thing is, this points to a greater thing they're doing, which is, I pointed out to Michelle and Zeno, though they did point out that Doctor Strange is the exception, that they seem to be trying to completely phase out every male Avenger. Because if you look at it, and Captain America, barring Captain America and Doctor Strange, they are replacing
Captain America was gone.
Yeah, but they gave his shield to Falcon.
Yeah.
So barring Captain America and Doctor Strange, they have literally replaced every Disney-owned Marvel character, because Michelle, our smart editor, pointed out Spider-Man, but he's Sony. with the female character. Hawkeye's training his daughter. Iron Man's daughter was seen wearing his helmet, and also Pepper has her own armor. Thor was being replaced by Valkyrie. Hulk was crippled because, I mean, his arm was still messed up at the end, and they said they're doing She-Hulk. So if you notice, this isn't a case of them adding diversity. They're just eliminating the entire male cast except for 2. And even then, I don't remember hearing about Phase 4 having a Falcon series. So while he gave his shield to Falcon, did they announce anything for that though? I don't think they did. So and now that Black Panther's on the chopping block potentially, this is just going to be 100% female Avengers.
Doctor Strange has always been sort of
he's not really an Avenger. Yeah, he's
secluded. I mean, because he has his fortress of power basically, and he protects.
That is true. Yeah.
So I mean, he never really was huge at going out. I mean, you could usually go and find him relatively easily.
There might have been an announcement. I think there might have been an announcement about a Winter Soldier and Falcon team up. I think, but I'm not sure. So maybe they do have something coming. That would be good.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter.
So there we go. But other than that, they are doing a massive swap out of the Avengers, like to the point that you don't even realize it's happening until you stop and look and go like, wow, they took out everybody. And it goes back to my original statement of that's not diversity, man, when you just flip completely to another extreme.
I've heard from a lot of people, man. I mean, like, I know we try to keep up with all this stuff. I wasn't sure as much of the opinions of other people, but as I've talked about Marvel and stuff with just people I know or people I've met, most people I'm hearing are saying, I'm not really looking forward to Phase 4.
Yeah. Well, it's because they wiped out too many at once. I mean, geez, Disney, at least pace yourself. Take out Cap, maybe Iron Man. But you're just like, no, man, we're doing a palette. Because you do know that, like, there's been claims of creative differences and scripts being thrown out. Like, they're going balls deep, all in. They're just going all in on this.
There's a lot of opportunity for things to change still, man. I think a lot of things are still getting ruffled around in Disney World,
I just wish they would pace themselves. I'm not even opposed to them trying this, but dang.
With all the drama of Star Wars and there could easily be a reshifting of Disney's perspective on how to create these movies and the directions to go. I mean, the good thing about the Marvel universe is almost everything can be undone because it's comics. Comics have always been that way. I could kill off everybody and then be back, 5 issues later. So that's sort of the joys of comics. You can mess up and you can undo it.
True, and they're probably gonna have to. Because honestly, you are right. I don't know anyone that's looking forward to Phase 4 at all.
There was a couple of conversations with Robert Downey Jr. that alluded to the fact that he could be back as Iron Man at some point.
Yeah, have you heard how Dr. Dolittle did? Like, oh my God, what the heck was he thinking? He shoved his fist up a dragon's ass, man. That movie is odd. Spoiler.
I need to watch. I need to see what came to. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Oh man, I got to see that because he probably asked him about that dragon thing.
And Joe Rogan, doesn't hold back a lot.
I know he's got to be like, so how do you went elbow deep, huh?
Yeah. So I'm curious. We have to check that out. See if anything interesting came of that.
I don't want to play Iron Man anymore. I want to do roles like this. Movie comes out. So Iron Man's not really dead, right?
All right. Netflix teases Castlevania 3. Netflix teases the release of Castlevania 3 anime series as the network posts new artwork on social media. So yeah, this was Q mentioned something about he was waiting for the next Castlevania, I think last episode, and I was like, he doesn't know he watched season 2. And I let it slide last episode, and I was telling him about this article, and he's like, "Wait, we've already gotten season 2?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we watched it, man." And
it was such a smooth flowing story that I in my mind I had put both the seasons together because they flowed that well. They kept the mood, they kept the momentum. I mean, I consider it a compliment that the series was so well done that I didn't even separate the seasons. It was just all gold. Like, all gold. Other times, you're literally like, season 1 was okay, season 2 sucked, season 3 got a little weird, but instead, it was just like, in my head, I was just like, Yalzavania was great, and it felt like one complete story. And you know how they do that bad shift. How many times have we seen something lose the feel or the momentum or style between seasons, or the story takes a left turn? It doesn't feel like they're on that same track.
Yeah.
Anime's really bad about that. Anime's really bad about going another season, and it's like, it's off over here now, and you're like, I thought you wanted to become Hokage. Like, what the hell's going on now? You know, like, but this really flowed. I'm hoping 3 will keep it going. I want 3 to seamlessly do the same thing, flow right into 2. It feels like I just turned off the last episode of the second season and rolled into the next one.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I have some high hopes in that. Speaking of animated series on Netflix, Netflix is to release a Witcher anime film.
But the live action doing so well. I mean, I haven't seen it, but both you guys are praising it so much. I don't see why they need an anime.
I binge watched The Witcher Thursday night, I think it was, and Friday night, because I was up till 8 o'clock.
Oh, crap.
8 o'clock in the morning. And yeah.
Dude.
I turned it on at like 10, and I was playing Path of Exile, and I was just like, oh yeah, our buddy Remy keeps telling me I have to watch this, and I was like trying to put up stuff on my second monitor to watch while I was playing Path of Exile anyway. So I was just like, oh yeah, Witcher. Even though everybody said it was good, I was like, I still feel like this is going to be bad. I still feel like this is going to suck. And so I was like, let me just throw it up here. And it was really good.
It was really good.
So I guess I'm going to have to finally get in there and watch it, because now I've gotten enough, compliments. But that's why this is odd to me, that it's like, why would you do this where it could end up competing with your other series? Like, at least wait until you've tapped out, because that's the way you make your money, right? You go, all right, we tapped out the live action, let's start an animated film. But if this coming out this soon, it's literally going to almost run competitively with its live action. That's why I just got thrown off. I was like, that seems weird to me. I mean, that's me. That's just me. I don't know business that well to know if I'm wrong on the way Netflix works. But I mean, Witcher's really popular.
Do we have an idea of what they're going to be covering with this?
It says the film's going to be called Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf, and it's going to be exploring a powerful new threat facing the content. So it's a spin-off, but I'm guessing like the characters are already together.
I mean, I guess it's in the same universe, since the same guy who's doing the Witcher live action is apparently developing the animated version.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to have an animated filler between the first and second season. That's new.
I know, we've seen that. We've seen that with, what was it, Blade Runner did the anime?
I wouldn't call that a good example. Yeah, so did the Matrix.
Matrix, I was about to say, Matrix did the animated.
You are not casting a good shadow on this.
I'm not saying they were good. I'm saying we've seen the strategy before.
Yes, fail. But we'll see if they, I guess
so. Let's see if Netflix can pull it off, man. They've pulled off some stuff I wouldn't expect them to be able to pull off. Maybe they can pull it off.
We'll see. Nice. I would have preferred they just did a live action short movie as filler, because it seems to be doing really well. Also, I heard animation's really expensive. Are they even saving money on that? Because they claim animation's really expensive. I've been hearing a lot of that lately about why some shows.
I think the thing is, if The Witcher's hot, then maybe they could do this alongside the filming of the next season without it slowing the next season down. Though.
Okay, could be a strategy. We'll see.
So maybe
it's odd to me,
get
but
more out there instead of.
Ooh, I'm really excited. They got the animation studio behind The Legend of Korra doing it. Yay! They're known for their quality work.
Oh. Should have just got the same people that did Castlevania to do it.
Hell yeah. Now I heard Voltron, Netflix's Voltron was really pretty good.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
Alright, I was unfair with that because it's more the writer's fault The Legend of Korra sucked. It is true. The animation wasn't bad.
Okay.
It was all the writing.
I didn't watch it.
So yeah, I did, and it's the writing. It's the writing. So I got to take that back.
They did Voltron's Legendary Defender.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah.
And then they said the studio, so I'm assuming that that's the animation and that the developer, Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich.
I mean, honestly,
Bew DeMaio.
Yeah, if it's an animated series, it's just gonna fill out the series because the series moved like really quickly. Like there was a lot of empty space that was unexplored. I mean, because you have, in the part of the series.
Well, I heard they're trying to get to the grown Siri part. Like, I actually remember there being talk of that's the part that their goal is to get to. So I think they're trying to shotgun while doing the backstory. They also seem to be trying to push to a certain point
because they have a very they have Geralt. They introduced Geralt, and Geralt is his renown is already there.
Well,
and you keep hearing stories. Yeah, you keep hearing stories of the wolf, the Witcher, so this actually could fill in a lot of that.
True, because the series, to my knowledge, is more Yennefer and Ciri's backstory.
The series, to me, it was a good balance.
That's not a bad thing.
It balanced Yennefer and Geralt really well throughout the series, and Ciri's young,
but he's already established Witcher.
She doesn't have a lot to.
Yeah, but but they're doing an established Geralt. They didn't get to him like before he drank the potion that gave him Witcher. And honestly, I wasn't interested in that part of the story. I'm not a big prequel guy anyway. I was introduced to Geralt through the video games as an established Witcher with already a rep. And I like that the show is apparently doing that. That's one of the reasons I'm willing to watch it. If this had been like friggin' Anakin version of like kid Geralt, I'd have been like, screw that. No. Nah, I'm not down.
But all right, let's see here. Why don't I get the editor to roll us a die?
Come, roll. We await you.
And I think we're done with our articles. I don't see any more there. 9 is that's one we already did. Yeah. 4. That is Nostalgia Gold, the book you read as a child that hooked you on geek culture.
I have such a geeky answer. Damn.
Wow. Honestly, let's see.
I'm so
the first books I've read that were like geek fantasy was Piers Anthony.
Hey, that's not fair. I told you about that. That's also one of my first, but not the first.
Not the Xanth series. Not the Xanth series. His other series with the dragons, and I don't even remember what it was. Like, it wasn't that great of a.
I was just gonna say, like, I remember the Xanth series, and I remember the Tangled Scoon and the Pale Horse and the Red Sword, the Incarnations, as I call it, series.
Yeah, it wasn't the Incarnations. It wasn't Xanth, I don't think.
Wow. Huh.
If I remember right.
My first Piers Anthony was the Xanth novels.
I don't know. I guess probably what really hooked me though was the Myth series. Man, like I love the Myth series.
I am as cookie cutter. I was brought in.
That was what R.A. Not so. It was Aspirin. Robert Aspirin. That was the author.
For me, it was Tolkien. Though in a weird way, I didn't start with The Hobbit. I actually started with The Lord of the Rings. I read The Lord of the Rings and I went back and read The Hobbit. But my first series of fantasy novels was I read The Lord of the Rings, and I mean I read it young, man. I might have been like 10. Like I was really kind of young to even be reading it, but I loved it. And then I read The Hobbit, and then I started reading. I literally cleared out my local library. That's how I read Piers Anthony. Is I just went, who else? And then I started reading Ari Salvatore and The Forgotten Realms and Ravenloft series because they actually had those books in my library, and I just went through everything. And but I started with Tolkien. I started with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and that is what brought me into the fantasy realm. My first introduction to elves and dwarves. And all
like Blood Axe says The Hobbit.
Rookie.
But I'll say I actually never read The Hobbit. I had saw the.
You never read There and Back Again?
I saw the animated The Hobbit.
You probably should have read the book.
It was so good. No,
it was well done, but I mean the book was good too, though.
And it was the proper length.
You don't. What you're saying? It shouldn't have been a 3-parter. There and Back Again and again and again. But no, yeah, I actually started on Tolkien. What about you, Michelle? Or are you even in geek culture? Like, you still waiting?
No, I'm in geek culture. My actual first introduction would have been the Anne Rice novels, Interview with the Vampire, Lestat, stuff like that.
Oh, so you started horny. Oh, man.
Well,
I mean, I read Anne Rice, man, but I didn't read it for the...
Well, I didn't read it for that either. That just was in there.
No, I read it for that. I said I wasn't reading it for the other stuff. I read it like, oh, it's a vampires, and I'm like, this isn't a horror, but wow, is there a lot of sex? But then it got kind of, well, we won't get into all that. But then I was like, wow.
Then it went to, then I checked out The Hobbit.
I think those two like each other. I'm gonna go read The Mummy. Anne Rice's, what is The Mummy?
I don't know. Like I keep going back in my head, and I keep thinking of different series I read. So I don't even know anymore now.
Dude, I remember I read so much horror that I had to read Dean Koontz because I ran out of the good stuff.
I didn't read a lot of horror. I was huge into fantasy.
I read all the fantasy. I was out of fantasy because remember, there weren't a lot of library jobs in Texas, man. I was in like Texas Boondocks.
See, I was lucky enough. I had two brothers who were both into things like D&D, stuff like that. I mean, dude, I was playing D&D before I started reading books. So
Tolkien led me to D&D.
Our tune, tabletop gaming. I was tabletop gaming before I was reading the books. So
you know what I still remember about D&D? How stupid all my friends were. I took the book home. I read it. I went through the rules, and they had been trying to explain it to me. And I went back and said, "You're all wrong about how this game plays. You're a bunch of idiots." And then I explained to them how to actually play it according to rules. Because you know how dumb kids can be. And I just remember, I didn't even play it. And I took the book home and came back and, corrected everything and said, no, this is a saving throw, and this is how you do THAC0. And, I mean, it's just I literally went in hard.
I did not find it. I never found any of those things difficult. It was always amusing to me that people found the math in 2nd ed difficult.
Wow, I just realized my actual roots are rules lawyer. My first encounter with D&D was being a rules lawyer and correcting all of the wrong
back when I played 2nd ed, dude. I actually remember I was able to, when somebody was like, "Oh man, how's this work?" I'd be like, "Blah," and they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'd be like, "Page 193." Yeah, I don't know why I remembered the pages, but I remembered even the pages to my first experience with.
Our editors went off on a side trip.
Yeah.
She's on a John Barrowman side trip while we're talking.
He's back.
Okay. But yeah, so anyway, I guess that wraps us up. Do we have anything else there?
They're hoping John Barrowman can save Doctor Who. That man's talented, but I don't know if he can pull it off.
Oh, God.
He is playing
I've
opposite
been avoided bringing up anything Doctor Who related on this show for a while now.
Picture's up now.
But our editor is forcing my hand here.
It's just something else to talk about.
I mean, I don't know if anything can save Doctor Who right now.
But the last episode, what is the last episode? She told about how we're ruining the environment.
Look, man,
she talked about global warming.
I hope. Look, Doctor Who's current writing style doesn't really work for me. I hope there's an audience out there for it.
You should have left that sentence at doesn't really work.
I hope there's an audience for it because I don't want the series to die. But
God, you don't know. There's been a big push for that.
I feel that they are killing it. I mean, we have the lowest. They have the lowest ratings ever.
In 31 years.
The viewers have dropped off drastically. I mean, people I know, including myself, who bought every season and watched every episode as soon as it came out. Haven't even picked up this last season.
Dude, what creeps me out is that when we go to cons, I don't even see as many
the Doctor
tables.
Who, the Doctor
like,
Who
it used to be
cosplay
prominent.
and stuff has dropped off.
It used to be like multiple TARDISes. Now you'll see like one police booth and a couple of people because the interest has literally been declining across the whole. Like they're killing the whole franchise. They're literally killing they're killing the whole thing, and that's what bothers me. I don't mind if you hate the current Doctor. I'm just worried that they're gonna kill, like you say, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah,
and that scares me. And now I'm worried they brought John Barrowman in because his character's really popular, and I don't want him to be tainted by the. I mean, no matter how good you are, if you walk through a sewer, you're coming out covered in shit. I mean, it doesn't matter. And this is a sewer, and I don't know if he can come out smelling like a rose, man. I don't even. The man's got talent, but I don't know. That's a big order. Unless he kills the current Doctor.
I mean,
that'd be a shock.
Oh,
just goes bam, regenerate, damn it, into someone useful.
All right, so we're gonna
comes up another one, shoots her again.
End the episode on that. We hope you enjoyed.
I gotta get somebody competent eventually.
Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all that good stuff. You can go to Dicejunkies.com to check out our website with links to everywhere we can be found online. I've even updated it recently.
That's still better than any other Home Alone reboot.
If you're listening to this on the podcast, I did some stupid stuff with my face. And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let us know what you think. And try to check us out on Sundays at 3:30 on Twitch, where you can watch us live. You can join us in the chat room. We have Blood Axe in there who keeps the conversation going. And we try to post the links to the stuff we're talking about at the time in there as well. So be sure to check that out. Once again, thanks for watching, guys, and we hope you enjoyed.